What is up, everybody? Welcome into Cooler Talk presented by RTIC. I am John Harris, your host. I went looking for others, but I guess they didn't want to join me today, so that's the way it goes. That's okay. I like doing Cooler Talk, and we have it between you, and we got a lot of questions. You want to get them in? I'm sure there's a website that you can follow. I'll be honest. Listen, this is just between you and me. I don't want the guys to hear this. I don't look at any of that stuff. They just tell me what screen I need to look at, and I see your questions, and away we go. So they got all the particulars for that. I'm sure you guys already know because you submit your questions. So that's just kind of between you and I. So just keep that up. All right. So let's get to your questions. And start with Brandon. He says, any update on Kayvon Webster? This is a great question. I've seen Kayvon around the building a few times. I can't say I've seen him in the last week or so, but he's eligible to come off IR, I believe. Let's see, what week was that? That was the Dallas game, correct? I believe that was week 5. So I would think if there's an opportunity to bring him back, they'll definitely have him in the thought process. Because they've brought Dylan Cole back, they get 2 players off of IR that they can bring back. So Cole is one of them. So they only get one more. So they got to be absolutely 100% locked in on who that guy is going to be. So they gotta look at all the different options of guys at IR. Kayvon Webster, Kevin Johnson, those are 2 to come to mind. So I don't know if they'll make any particular move at this point. So I don't know if there's anything clear on Kayvon. I think we just kind of wait and see what the Texans want to do, bringing back another player from IR. They're allowed to do it. They don't have to. They're allowed to bring back 2, and Cole is one of them. And obviously it's good to have Dylan Cole back. So Kayvon Webster, I would hope is, and whatever injury he had, I think it was a thigh or quad, gave him extra time to get the Achilles even better. So would love to see him get back. We only saw him for a couple of plays. I've seen him play before, and I know he can play, so I think he could help this team in some way, shape, or form. But because Kareem Jackson moved out to corner, Sharice Wright stepped in, has done some good things. Joseph has been ready to go, and hopefully J.J. will be ready to go on Sunday after leaving Sunday's game against the Browns with some sort of upper body, shoulder thing, who knows. But hopefully he'll be back. The corners have played much better, but having Kayvon Webster back would definitely bolster the depth. There's no question about that. All right, I knew it was coming, so let's just jump right to it. It says Matthew and Adam, but it might as well be from all of you because I know you wanted to know. Will D'Onta Foreman play this week? I don't know. I hate to say it that way, but I don't know. They've activated him to the 53. They went through the 21-day window. I don't think they got all the way through the 21-day window, but they activated him to the roster. I should say they put him on the roster, on the 53-man roster. So we've gone through these steps. We've talked about this. They went from having him on PUP to having him still on PUP, but yet he can practice. Now he can continue to practice as a member of the 53-man roster. Will he play? I don't know. And I'm not sure what he's going to have to show to be able to step into playing time or being part of the 46-man game day roster. I don't know. So my thought is that they're talking about what specifically they want from him. Now keep in mind, Lamar Miller has been crushing it lately. Alfred Blue has been a really good compliment to Lamar Miller. I just saw from our Texans PR department today that Deshaun Watson, Alfred Blue, and Lamar Miller are all over 350 yards. It's the first time in Texans history that on the same team, 3 players have been 350 yards or more in a season. So they've been running the ball really well with those 2 guys. So I really don't even have a gut feeling on this. But if it's Miller and Blue, I'm good with that. If Deontay's ready to come back and ready to run the rock, I'll be good with that too. But my gut feeling is that they'll want to go with Miller and Blue and keep riding those hot hands for now. And then that'll give D'Onta even more time to get himself ready as they continue to practice and get ready for games. So there's no definitive will he or won't he. We won't find out until 90 minutes beforehand who the inactives are. So it wouldn't surprise me either way, to be honest with you. It wouldn't surprise me. This is from Daniel. Do I think Kiki QT will play on Sunday? Man, I hope so. I hope so. For some reason, this game was kind of circled. Like I felt like he would be back for this one. And last time we played the Colts, what do you have, 11 catches? he was outstanding in that game. So injury report yesterday still had him as limited, meaning he's doing some things, but not all the way into not fully practicing. So we're going to have to wait and see what the injury report says today. It should be out pretty soon. It's 2:38. Usually comes around 3 o'clock, 3:15, somewhere in there. So we'll see. My guess is he'll still be limited. But, again, if we got to go with DeAndre Carter to give Kiki more time to get ready, I'm all right with that because DeAndre has done some really good things. Look, I want Kiki back as much as everybody else does, but if he's not 100% healthy with a hamstring, and look, what have we seen with hamstrings? It just you need time, i.e. an offseason, to really get that thing healthy to come back for it not to be a lingering issue. I speak as somebody that had one my junior year in college. It was a problem. I heard it on the very first sprint of the year of practice, and it was a problem all year long. I could never cut or do anything right. It wasn't good until the next year. So maybe that's what we got to do and wait for Kiki. Now, we'll see how that goes this week, but if DeAndre Carter's got to step in there, I'm okay with that. He has given this offense some explosive plays over the last few weeks and on returns as well. Just got to make sure he hangs on to the football. This from Keith. Any concerns about J.J. Watt's knee? J.J. was asked about it, and he said, I'm fine. I'm ready to go. Is there concern? There are always concerns when a guy's on the injury report, but there are guys that you just know are going to show up to play. I think what's weird for me was seeing J.J. on the injury report. The last couple of years he's just gone straight to IR. I don't think I've ever seen him on an injury report with the word questionable next to his name. So that was a little weird. But he played in the game. He didn't look like he was slowed down in any way, shape, or form. So hopefully that will be a little bit better this week against the Colts. Obviously, he wants to be in this game. He wants to be in every game. But he knows how big this one was. But one of the good things about handling the Browns was the Browns only had, I think, 52 plays, I think it was. I think it was 52 plays. That was it, 52 plays. And the last probably 7 or 8 were with backups out on the field. So the front group only had to play 40 to 45 plays, which is great. Keep J.J. rested, keep those guys rested. They didn't have to go 65, 70 plays like they had to when they faced Indy back in Week 4. So am I concerned? Yeah, but it's J.J. And we know J.J. is going to try and gut through it when he definitely can. 16 and 17, those injuries were just way far gone, and he definitely had to go on IR for those. But I think he's going to do everything possible to get himself ready for Sunday. The good news is because Devion Clowney, Whitney Merciless, all 3 of them are there. If one needs a little bit of a rest, the other 2 can go. And I think that will end up being a good thing for the Texans on Sunday. This one from Philip. How does the Jags versus Titans game affect our division chances? So here it is in a nutshell. Jacksonville wins tonight. That'll give the Titans 7 losses. If the Texans then win on Sunday, that would be 10 wins. The fewest amount of losses the Texans are going to have would be 6. So if the Texans beat the Colts, that would give them 7 losses. The Jags already have 8. A loss tonight by the Titans would give them 7. The Texans would just need one more win at that point. So that win could come on Sunday. So tonight, rooting for the Jags to break the streak against the Titans. The Titans own the Jags for whatever reason. They own the Jags. So if the Jags can step up, get a win, it'll probably be like a 7-3 win, but either way, you'll take it. That is what the Texans need to know going into Sunday. Then Sunday, if that happens, becomes a hat and T-shirt game, meaning the Texans can clinch the division with the win over the Colts. That make sense? If the if the Titans win, just got to keep playing it out. Just got to keep playing it out at that point, because if the Jags win, but the Texans win, then that means the Texans will still have a 3-game edge over Tennessee with now 3 games to play. If the Titans win, but the Texans lose, then now it gets a little tighter amongst everybody, and that's what you don't want. So you just got to take care of business, but tonight's game, you want the Jaguars to win. Didn't want to say that in 2017, but you definitely want to say it in 2018. Dean says, any idea on how tiebreakers work for playoff buys? They work pretty similarly, and I say this because I've already looked at this a little bit, but I've looked at it in the past too. There are a lot of factors that come into it. First of all, head-to-head competition. For example, just because they've played, I'll use this as an example. Let's say the Chiefs and the Patriots are tied. Let's say that they lose a couple games, and they're both 12-4 at the end of the year. The Texans win all four. They're 13-3. So Texans finish first, and they're tied for the second spot. The Patriots would get that over the Chiefs because they beat them head-to-head. If teams haven't played head-to-head, then your conference record matters. If it's tied in division, then your division record matters. If you still have ties, then your strength of victory matters. It gets kind of crazy at that point. And then one other factor is common opponents. We played this team. They played that team. We won. They lost. That gives us an edge. That's also factored in. So there are a lot of factors that get involved. They're kind of stair-step. Talk about those later on because I'm advised on my sheet here, don't take the cheese. So I have looked at it. So common opponents, division record, conference record, those things can – and straight up head-to-head. So if we're tied with the Patriots, unfortunately, they would get the bye over us because they beat us earlier in week one. That's unfortunate, and that's why playing them week one was tough. But either way, a lot of those things come into play. We'll talk more about that as it becomes reality for the Texans. And hopefully, with the Jags win tonight and the Texans win on Sunday, reality will be staring us in the face on Monday morning, so that'll be good. Chris, I appreciate you saying for me to not take the cheese. Got a few shout-outs. Gary, and Gary, I'm going to pronounce this wrong. Not Gary, but Quedlinburg, Germany. Did I say that right? Quedlinburg. Hopefully I got that right. John is in Taylor, Texas. Not Tyler, Taylor, Texas. Kevin in Roanoke, Virginia, which is on the way to the Greenbrier. Allison in New Hampshire. Appreciate you guys listening wherever you are across the country, throughout the world. Thank you so much. We got plenty for you. Tonight, it's Thursday. A little different. Tonight, Mark Vandermeer's got radio with John McClain, Patty Smith. Got a lot of things going on Sports Radio 610. Friday, we'll have my all-access show all weekend long on TV. We've got Buzz. We got Extra Points. We got all kinds of things going on TV-wise. Then the pregame show radio is at 9 o'clock. You'll hear me at 9:45. Mark and Andre go on shortly thereafter. Kickoff is at 12, and the postgame show after that on Sports Radio 610. All the great stuff that you can get at HoustonTexas.com. You got it on the app. You've got it where else? On our Twitter handles, our IG, Instagram, Bookface, wherever else. You got everything you're looking for. We got it for you. HoustonTexas.com, and hopefully you remembered all of that because I'm sure it's all right there in front of me, but I don't read so well. So I'm just going off the top of my head with that. But we got all kinds of info, everything you could possibly want about this game against Indianapolis Colts. If you're going to the game, get there early, be loud. We need Andrew Luck to struggle, and we need him to struggle with you guys being loud. It's helped in the past against the Colts before. Let's do it again on Sunday. Take care of business and get to 10 in a row. But mainly, let's get to 1-0 this weekend. That's all we need to be, 1 week at a time. Appreciate you guys listening to Cooler Talk presented by RTIC.